Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to tonight's top stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And not a bad one today, a mix of clouds and sun out there, but boy, what a gorgeous shot from our Tumwater Sky-Fi Tower camera looking down at the upper valley, and a beautiful winter shot. And happy first day of February. We do have a storm system that will be moving in on Friday, and it's going to kind of last all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe even into Monday. The good news out of all that is we're going to warm up right through the weekend, but as we look at our February outlook, warm temperatures aren't something that we're going to see a lot of this month. Below normal temperatures for the Pacific Northwest. That's that map on your left. The map on the right, above normal monthly precipitation. So below normal temps and above normal precip for February. We'll have your complete north central Washington weather forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. State Fish and Wildlife commissioners once again won't approve a spring hunt for black bear in Washington. 12th District State Senator Brad Hawkins signaled this week he's likely to support a .05 blood alcohol level to define drunken driving. And longtime Douglas County Auditor Thad Duvall was in Olympia on Tuesday giving testimony on a bill that would require a check on whether any new vehicle registered in Washington is subject to a recall. But first, our top story tonight, a 45-year-old Wenatchee woman is dead after a fire broke out in a mobile home early this morning. Wenatchee Valley Fire Chief Brian Brett said the fire was reported at the Monterey Senior Mobile Home Park. That's in the 1300 block of North Wenatchee Avenue. At about 3:08 a.m., that's when the fire broke out. Two other residents of that home were displaced and are receiving housing assistance from the Red Cross.
When fire crews arrived, flames were coming out of all of the windows except for one room. The Wenatchee police officers who were on scene before us advised there were occupants trapped. Fire crews advanced lines in for extinguishment and search and were able to locate a female occupant and remove her from the mobile home and initiate CPR. Unfortunately, the female occupant succumbed to her injuries and was pronounced on scene.
Brett says the cause of the fire is under investigation. That fatal fire was one of 3 incidents the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department handled in just over 12 hours. About 2:30 p.m. yesterday, a 3-apartment home in the 400 block of King Street was stricken by a fire in the basement apartment, which displaced 1 resident. Then at about 5 p.m., an East Wenatchee police officer was alerted to smoke in an apartment in the 500 block of Eastmont Avenue, ran inside and helped smother a fire on the stove with a piece of cloth and an extinguisher. State Fish and Wildlife commissioners once again won't approve a spring hunt for black bear in Washington. The commission on Friday turned down a petition to hold a spring hunt for the second year in a row by a vote of 5-3. Wildlife agents say there's currently no need to manage the bear population through hunting, and it's too late in the process to begin crafting permitting rules for this year. The issue is likely to arise again in 2024. 12th District State Senator Brad Hawkins signaled this week he's likely to support a .05 blood alcohol level to define drunken driving. In a Senate Transportation Committee hearing on Monday, Hawkins questioned the bill's main sponsor, Senator and former state trooper John Lovick.
Generally speaking, I'm a supporter of this bill.
Thank you.
And I totally agree with you. If my standard is if people drink alcohol, they shouldn't drive. And it's really as simple as that. But I just wanted to ask you, based on your experience as a trooper, what is it like for someone whose blood alcohol content is 0.07, who's impaired? What kind of behaviors are they, when you pulled them over and gave them those tests, can you describe for us sort of what their state of impairment was?
So it's been a while. Again, I retired many years ago. But you know what I found was that obviously you don't know what the BAC was when you stopped them, but you had a reason to stop them. And it had to be the weaving, the driving, the following too close, the crossing the center line. I've swerved on a two-lane roadway, swerved to my right to avoid a car hitting me head on, made a U-turn and went and stopped them. And they were in fact, at a .07 or a .08. And most people, and I guess, again, I don't drink, but most people think they're okay. It's always going to be from them, I've had 2 beers or 2 drinks. And most just don't know. And I always say, Senator, that impairment starts, I believe, with the first drink.
Longtime Douglas County Auditor Thad Duvall was in Olympia yesterday giving testimony on a bill that would require a check on whether any newly registered vehicle in Washington is subject to a recall. Duvall, representing the Washington Association of County Auditors, told the Senate Transportation Committee that he and his fellow registrars have concerns about the bill.
So there are a number of reasons why this process could be held up. So what that does is it places the burden on those agents and subagents at the counter when people come to renew. And there are a number of reasons why they wouldn't be able to do it timely. They can self-attest they've got it done, or they're going to have to apply for an exemption. All that work will fall on us in person, by phone, through emails, and through mail-in renewals. And mail-in renewals could be very problematic for this process.
When we come back, new legislation would expand an Eastern Washington wildfire preparedness program to Western Washington. North Central Washington's 2 congressional representatives are teaming up on farm-related legislation. The North Central Washington Hispanic Empowerment Fund and the Wenatchee Valley College Foundation are partnering up to award Empowerment Fund scholarships. And Governor Jay Inslee will not be coming to Wenatchee this week as planned after testing positive for COVID. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
Welcome back. In another news, new legislation would expand an Eastern Washington wildfire preparedness program to Western Washington. The Wildfire Ready Neighbors program launched in 2021 in several Eastern Washington counties, including Chelan County. Commissioner of Public Lands Hillary Franz proposed the Cascading Impacts of Wildfire bill, which will provide funding to include the program in Western Washington counties. Pilot programs in Pierce, Thurston, and Mason counties would become permanent, along with 5 additional Western Washington counties. So far, the program has seen over 4,000 Eastern Washington residents sign up to get a personalized wildfire-ready plan. The bill also lays out plans to prepare communities for wildfire smoke risks and impacts and manage post-wildfire risk like landslides and debris flows. North Central Washington's 2 congressional representatives are teaming up on farm-related legislation, partnering with Spokane Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers. Democrat Kim Schreier of the 8th District and Republican Dan Newhouse of the 4th introduced a bill to fix the funding for the Specialty Crop Research Initiative. The SCRI helps pay for research to prevent disease and pest damage for crops such as grapes and onions and improve irrigation practices for fruit growers. Right now, universities have to come up with matching funds to qualify for SCRI grants. The new legislation would allow the Department of Agriculture to waive that requirement. Well, the North Central Washington Hispanic Empowerment Fund and the Wenatchee Valley College Foundation are partnering up to award Empowerment Fund scholarships. The North Central Washington Hispanic Empowerment Fund scholarship has provided an initial investment of $8,000 to the Wenatchee Valley College Foundation. The scholarship will benefit students enrolled in Wenatchee Valley College support service programs like the College Assistant Migrant Program and the Area Health Education Center. Previously, the fund awarded $33,000 to 43 students from 2017 to 2019. Well, Governor Jay Inslee tested positive this morning for COVID-19. The governor's office announced the diagnosis and said Inslee is experiencing only mild symptoms. The positive test means the governor had to cancel a visit to the Wenatchee Valley scheduled for Friday. Among other meetings, Leavenworth Mayor Carl Floria told NCWLIFE that Inslee was planning to visit the Bavarian Village to discuss the area crisis in affordable housing. The governor's office said he'll be working and taking meetings virtually while he quarantines. It's Inslee's second positive COVID diagnosis in 9 months. He's been fully vaccinated for the pandemic virus. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
I had had a seizure in the middle of the night, and they rushed me to the hospital and decided to induce labor to try to get the baby out. The outpouring of love and support I got from Confluence Health. My coworkers coming to the ICU to be with me. For me, it's the work family. It's just incredible to have support no matter what I'm going through in my personal life, my own health.
NCWLIFE Channel is your home for local sports with the Wenatchee Panthers and East Mont Wildcats right here. Coverage brought to you by Abby's Pizza, Biosports Physical Therapy, Clean Connection, Coldwell Banker Cascade, Confluence Health, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Highlander Golf Course and Grill, Kennedy Real Estate Group, Les Schwab, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, and Together for You. Follow all the action right here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's features story, a recent addition to the Wenatchee Valley has been Boba Lab, located at 4 South Mission Street in Wenatchee. It's a science-themed shop that sells specialty hot and cold drinks infused with boba tea. Opened by Sibley's Hero and Vasti Alpier in August, Boba Lab brings something a little special to the Wenatchee Valley.
Boba Lab started as an idea between my sister and I to sort of bring something special to the Wenatchee Valley. We have both been very big fans of boba tea since we were little kids. I remember a couple experiences when we went to Seattle where boba tea is very popular with my family, and just like some really good memories that boba tea sort of represents for us as a family. We both sort of had that love towards science since we were little. We did both actually have plans of going into the healthcare field, and Boba Lab actually started as an idea during our gap year, pretty much.
I think when we were thinking of the name, we wanted to come up with a theme that was cohesive. And with that being said, I had just got out of school. I graduated this past spring. So I really had on my mind was, science, being in laboratory settings, like through hours of my day. And I think when we both kind of came to that agreement that we were going to do like the whole lab theme, it was easier to come up with like decoration, ideas for the menu, and things that we still are working on. I think it has been a lot of trial and error. Like, we come up with an idea, it's not very concrete, like we bring it up to each other and we're like, what do you think about this? If we both agree on it, we try our best to follow along with it. If it works, perfect, we continue doing it. If it doesn't, we try to think of new ways to fix the issue or fix the problem.
So we have been getting so far some really good feedback. I believe we also are willing to sort of work with the client that's trying boba tea for the first time. We're always open to either find a flavor that they may like if they didn't like the one that they got, or also just be able to just work with them, see what they like. We're also able to adjust the sweetness level to that, also the concentrate amount that we use. And that always helps because we always want people to leave happy and we want them to be satisfied with what they got.
Let's take a look now at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope your Wednesday was a good one. Really no complaints weather-wise, as I mentioned the other day. This, to me, kind of the dog days of winter, even though it felt pretty good out there today with the sunshine. It stayed cool, but we did see some blue skies as we look down at the upper valley from our Tumwater Sky-Fi Tower camera. 28. Our unofficial high temperature today, and that's still well below where we should be at 37 for this time of year. Our record just a few years ago in 2020, our record 57 degrees. 18 is where we started the day this morning. 26 is our normal low temperature, and our record low 10 below zero, set back in 1996. Sunrise 7:27, and the sun sets at 5:03. Let's take a look at what we can expect as we get you into Thursday. We are continuing a slow warm-up. I know it's slow, but we're going to get to that 40-degree mark. We'll show you when here in a second, but almost there in the Columbia Basin tomorrow. Moses Lake about 37, 36 for Ephrata, 35 in Quincy, and then a little bit cooler back in the Wenatchee area. 32 for Wenatchee, 31 in Entiat, and 31 the high temperature in Chelan. Will be nice to see the 30s return, that's for sure. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies. We will see cold temperatures once again with overnight lows in the upper teens as this upper ridge stays parked over the Pacific Northwest. But notice it's slowly moving to the east as we get into Thursday, and that's mainly because of this area of low pressure. It will bring mostly cloudy skies to us for Thursday, but we'll be talking highs generally in the lower 30s for the Wenatchee Valley on Thursday. For Friday, cloudy skies. We will see isolated showers developing. Most of the wet stuff will stay in western Washington for Friday, but we're going to warm up a little bit more into the mid-30s as we get into the end of the week. And then full force low pressure system off the coast as we get you into the weekend. Cloudy, not so much rain showers during the day, but as we transition into the evening, there we go. That shot for some shower activity here at home. Temperatures in the mid to upper 30s on Saturday, and then that low just parks itself right off the Oregon coast. That'll bring us some morning rain showers, scattered rain in the afternoon. It will be warmer on Sunday. We're talking highs near 40 degrees to end our weekend. That trend will continue as we get you into the first part of next week. Cloudy skies throughout the Pacific Northwest and showery, mainly in the afternoon and evening hours for Monday. We're going to see high temperatures, though, jumping up into the low 40s for Monday, and then getting you into the end of our forecast on Tuesday. Mostly cloudy skies. We will see a chance for mainly afternoon rain showers as that area of low pressure just kind of sits and wobbles out in the Pacific for a few days. Highs into the low 40s once again as we get you into Tuesday. So a nice warm up into the end of the weekend and the first part of next week. 7-day forecast now, and it's brought to you by Apple Valley Honda. Tonight's overnight lows a lot like this morning was at 19 degrees, 32 and mostly cloudy tomorrow, and then the showery weather returns on Friday. Isolated showers in 36, mainly evening showers on Saturday with a high temperature of 37. Morning showers Sunday, but notice the nice warm up, 40 degrees as we end the weekend. Evening showers on both Monday and Tuesday, but nice and mild, 43 Monday and 42 your high temperature on Tuesday. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Join NCWLIFE channel for live coverage of the Apple Blossom Royalty Selection Pageant presented by Cashmere Valley Bank on Saturday, February 11th. The countdown to coronation at 6 and the pageant at 7 o'clock. Coverage is brought to you by Coldwell Banker Cascade, Confluence Health, Harvest Valley Pest Control, and the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. Join us for the Apple Blossom Festival Royalty Selection Pageant on the NCWLIFE channel.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCWLIFE channel.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Wednesday to you. February is here, which means spring is near, right? Well, pitchers and catchers will report to spring training at Peoria, Arizona and Seattle for the Mariners in just a few days. And today is Media Day at T-Mobile Park. They were holding that earlier on the YouTube channel for the Mariners. Of course, the buzz all about Julio Rodriguez being named the American League Rookie of the Year. This was Julio accepting his award this past weekend.
Good night, everybody. Man, let me. Take care of it. Thank you. What can I say? First, I want to thank God. I feel like without Him, like I wouldn't have been here. Like I feel like really blessed for all the opportunity He put into my role, that I was able to take advantage of it. I want to thank the baseball writers too for voting for me. Thank you guys. That was very nice of you. And I want to thank my family. I feel like that's my core support. I feel like that's the people that was with me since day one. My agents, my support team, everybody that made sure that things are lined up for me, that I was make sure that I'm training with the right people, doing the right thing, I was guiding me from the right direction. I feel like without them, I would not be here right now. And I should say, like, I asked a lot of questions, a lot of good players around the league, Albert, JB, Goldsmith, Sandy, Judge, and I want to thank them too because they supported me on that. They helped me also become who I am today. I want to say quick shout out to my hometown, Loma de Cabrera. It's a small town in the Dominican Republic. It's just, for me to be here from that small town, it is very special. There was another Rookie of the Year, Rafael Foucault. Like, I know he had this same feeling, just coming from this small town, 20,000 people, and being standing at this stage right now. It's just very memorable. It's a really long road, and I'm happy that how far I've become. And for all those young guys out there, I just really hope that there's other guys that come and do this and feel motivated by my role too. I just hope that they keep achieving new heights and they also take the game to the next level, just by playing the game in the right way, by having fun with it, and just keep representing their families. Like, don't let anybody set your limits. Don't let anybody tell you you cannot do it. Look at my example, 20,000 people, and I'm here in front of you guys. Feel really blessed for that, and don't let anybody tell your limits. Thank you guys.
Now, joining the virtual part of the Media Day today was new second baseman Colton Wong. The two-time Gold Glove winner came over from the Brewers in a trade this offseason. He says he's looking forward to joining his new teammates like Julio and playing in front of Seattle fans.
You know, Julio kind of running the show, and rightfully so. The guy's, amazing to watch. He's an amazing player, and for how young he is, it just seems like his maturity is through the roof. So, watch us throughout the middle. I think it's going to be very fun, and with that pitching staff, I think me and JP are really going to have fun, doing some plays behind these guys. Just kind of watching it, as a baseball fan and seeing that stadium, playing there was one thing. It's pretty cool to play in that stadium, knowing that, greats like Ken Griffey played there, guys that, for me as a young kid growing up, that was the left-handed swing that I emulated. That was the guy that I watched. So to see, that stadium in person and then to realize, like, man, I wonder what this stadium is like fully packed. And then see it, in the playoffs and see the excitement and see how rowdy the fans got. I think at that point you just realize that if I ever get a chance to play here, like, I want to play in the postseason. I want to be a part of some magic here, and these fans are going to continue to push us and lead the players. At the end of the day, that's kind of what fuels players. It's like the fans coming in, the fans pushing us and keeping us on our toes, excited to play. And Seattle just seems like the fan base there is incredible, and I can't wait to see it.
First team workout February 21st. First Cactus League games February 24th. Well, let's check the Les Schwab Prep basketball scoreboard from last night as the regular season came to an end for some of our teams in the region. The Chelan girls celebrated senior night and got off to a slow start against the visiting Omak Pioneers despite 14 points from senior Kyra Sandoval and 10 from senior Jocelyn Simmons. Chelan fell 52-38. Other action last night, Grandview handed Ephrata a 72-34 defeat. Bridgeport topped Manson 46-39. Okanagan down Brewster 60-24. Lake Roosevelt topped Tonasket 59-48. Libertyville beat Oroville 37-28. So here's the final standings for the Central Washington 2B Girls League. Okanagan is the league champ, finishing a perfect 10-0. Brewster gets the number 2 seed to the District 6 tournament at 7-3, while Lake Roosevelt is third, also at 7-3. Bridgeport is fourth, Tonasket 6th. Libertyville's win over Oroville last night means the Mountain Lions and Hornets are tied for the final playoff spots, which means a play-in game coming up tomorrow. That'll be at Brewster at 5 o'clock. 2 8-minute halves to determine the winner to advance to face Lake Roosevelt Saturday in the first round of the district tournament at 6 o'clock. The other first round game that is, will have Bridgeport at Tonasket. Tigers will get to host because they beat the Mustangs during the regular season. Brewster and Okanagan waiting in the wings for the second round at Omak High School coming up next Tuesday. Other girls play last night. Moses Lake Christian had no trouble downing Riverside Christian 64-17 the final. Petrarius clobbered Cascade Christian 48-8. Soap Lake edged Eddy at 34-33. Waterville Mansfield won on the road at Wilson Creek 66-27. Turning to the Les Schwab boys basketball scoreboard from last night, Kashmir eked out a 69-63 win over Cascade. As Chelan celebrated its 5 seniors, it was the play of Omak senior Jovan Mercado with 28 points and sophomore Tegan Mullen with 17 that made the difference for the Pioneers in a 79-54 win. Goats were led by senior Braden Boyd with 19 points. Grandview down at Freitas 77-51. Brewster beat Okanagan 69-54. Lake Roosevelt topped Tonasket 70-54. Manson stopped Bridgeport 44-38. Libertyville dumped Oroville 65-36. Final standings for the Central Washington 2B League has Lake Roosevelt taking the league title, Brewster second, Libertyville third. Okanagan, Tonasket, Manson, and Bridgeport round out the playoff eligible teams, which begins on Saturday with Manson at Okanagan at 6 o'clock. Libertyville hosts Tonasket. The winners will advance to face Brewster and Lake Roosevelt in the second round next Wednesday at Omak High School. Other boys scores from last night, Riverside Christian upset Moses Lake Christian 56-55. Petrarius popped Cascade Christian 60-13. And they had edged Soap Lake 51-50, and Waterville Mansfield won their second straight, downing Wilson Creek 65-28. That's a lot of sports. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And Eric is filling in for Dan Kuntz all this week, so let's check right back in with him now for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Eric?
Well, Grant, I know that you're going to be looking closely at what's happening in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. We're going to also, tomorrow on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, find out what the difference is between a groundhog, a marmot, and a woodchuck. And how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? We'll find out tomorrow. Right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Hope you join us for his Thursday edition, Groundhog Day, right here. Grant, back to you.
Eric, remember, rodents can't predict weather. And that'll do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find them on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.
Hello, television family. Grab your cup of coffee each weekday morning and join me. I'm Dan Kuntz, the host of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's everything you need to start your day. We're live and we're local at 7 a.m. every weekday on the NCWLIFE channel.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
Connect with us on Networked as we introduce you to the people and organizations who are leading innovation in the region. Get inspired, engaged, and networked right here on the NCWLIFE channel.